Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And it's time for play-up props across the NBA. Just a 3-game slate tonight on Tuesday night here, Nate. But we do like a few of these props tonight, some things to choose from. There's a number of guys out. Make sure you're checking those lineups as well all the way up to game time. But I think we're ready to take advantage of some of the guys being out as well with some of these picks. Also want you to head to thelines.com. We got all our great written content up there. Nate puts the picks up there as well each and every weekday of the season. Also have our great odds finder tool on there that you can use to go ahead and make sure you're getting the best juice back on all these NBA bets this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into your first NBA play-up prop for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors playing the Mavericks, you got to expect Luka Doncic to show up. Like I said in the game video, the Mavs have had a rough go here on a tough road trip. When we saw that happen last time, it was like a little brief one in Washington where Luka was quiet. He came back with a monster triple-double against Portland, a good defense. The Warriors are 29th in defense on the road this season, and they haven't had much success stopping Luka anywhere. But you look particularly his last 3 regular season home games against the Dubs, 37 points per game, nearly 12 rebounds, 42% usage rate, getting to the line 12 times a game. And the Dubs are also giving up the 4th most free throws on the road right now. They just gave up a ton to the Clippers, who have no one to really threaten you with. Gave up 26 free throw attempts to the Clippers. So I think Luka will be living at the line. You look at his home road splits in general, 131 offensive rating at home, scoring 34 a game, more free throw attempts at home. And then just the fact that the Warriors are playing so well offensively right now makes me think that there's going to be more of a back and forth here. 32.5 points is obviously a large total, but like I said, Luka is close to 35. You actually get better odds when you combine his rebounds, and I think the pace that the Warriors play at, the amount of threes they take, makes me feel good about that. 41.5 points and rebounds, that's where I'd go. It's close to even money at DraftKings, and like I said, based on his recent splits with the Warriors, getting 12 boards per game in those home games right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's high. It's very high. But it's Luka against the Dubs, and it's Luka this season, and it's usage rate and points and minutes. And if he's going to be a little bit rested, we talked about that in the game video a little bit. This team is really dependent on him being able to play a lot. He's definitely come into the season in better shape than we've seen him, able to stay on the floor for a ton of minutes a game. But you got to expect him to play 38 to 40 tonight as well in a game that I don't think will be a blowout if the Dubs are at least going to be better on defense, and they've been a little bit better than they've been. They've gotten it down in their last few home or road games. That they've actually improved upon that second worst defensive rating on the road this season. So we'll see if they continue to trend in the right direction, but I don't think they'll have an answer for Luka regardless. So staying in this game, Klay, we talked about him. We basically said we were taking him in that other game video where we talk about this game. We mentioned that he's going to be involved in these player props. 17.5 points is minus 105 on DK, but 3.5 made threes or more, more than that. So 4 threes or more is plus 110 on DK. So I definitely like that. You look at what he's done in his last 6. He's shooting 10 threes a game and making 5.5 of them. So the 4 there doesn't seem like too much. The Mavs, not very good opponent 3-point percentage. I mean, they give up a pretty good one. They're not that good on D against the 3 as much so as we've seen in the past where they cover that well. They are better at home, I will say, in terms of defending the 3, but still not. It's Klay Thompson, so I'm still going to feel pretty good about making 4 threes when he's on that tear. The 24 points per game that he's had in the last 6 come on 32 minutes a game, 24% usage. These are the types of things we've been waiting to see for him. They started to trend in the right direction over the course of the last 2 or 3 weeks, with him upping his minutes from like 22 to 26 to 28, and now he's at 32 or so, which is what we need to see. His defense is not so atrocious anymore that they can't keep him on the floor at times as he's dropped that defensive rating, which is crucial. So expect to see him on the floor. I'm fine with both of those bets. I'll probably hit on both 17.5 points over that and over 3.5 made threes. Both are even money or better, as I said. So, I'm not sure if this game's going to hit 227 or not, but it's going to be a little bit better and less choppy than you might expect from a Mavs home game.
Mm-hmm. And he's on that heater since Mikal Bridges threw some shade at him after Devin Booker, talked some trash in the first Suns win. The Warriors have kind of woke them up. It seems like that latest Suns loss where they got blown out, and they've been on a heater with Klay, as I said, being the barometer there, he's got to be knocked down if Steph is going to continue to get all the attention he's getting, having the best season of his career so far. I mean, the odds aren't great, but you get these head-to-head matchups. Klay to hit more threes than Luka, who's hitting like 1 or 2 per game. He's mostly going to the basket. Minus 150. To hit more than Dinwiddie, who's not, his role isn't even certain. You don't even know if he's going to hit a 3, is minus 185. But I mean, if you're going to bet for Klay to hit 4 threes, I like sprinkling some on those as well as almost a hedge or a bonus. If he does hit those 4 threes, I think he'll have more than both those guys. I'm going to go to the other game we break down here. Blazers, Clippers, and I'm looking for Jusuf Nurkic to throw some cold water on Shaq Zubac, who just put up 39 and 25 against the Pacers. It's like the biggest line on the highest field goal percentage since Shaq did it 20 years ago or so. But Nurkic, the last time he hosted the Clippers, he had 31 points with Dame and CJ out. Obviously, CJ is not on the team, and Dame is out tonight. Zubac held to 5 and 6. And then the previous time, Nurk had 14 and 17, was a plus 22 with 6 offensive rebounds, and held Zubac to 3 and 5. His last 3 versus the Clippers, based on those, obviously going well over 25.5 points rebounds, which you're getting good odds at right now. His last 6 in general, with Dame out for 4 of those, he's averaging 18 points, 9 rebounds, and a 25% usage rate. The minutes are always a concern when you have a guy who gets into foul trouble, which is why even in 26 minutes per game, though, he's averaging 20 and 12 against the Clippers his last 3. Yeah. So if he can stay on the floor, which he should be able to, I mean, the Clippers are not a team that you can rely on getting to the line. They're not a team that you could necessarily rely on to hit a high percentage of their field goals either, which is why they're 27th in opponents' defensive rebounding. So I like combining it with the boards because I think he could have 15 plus boards if you want to just bet on rebounds as well. That makes sense too.
I mean, he's going up against Wilt Chamberlain. What are you talking about? And because Zubac, who put the hurting on Miles Turner to the tune of 31 rebounds the other night, although Miles did hit his rebound prop that we called last night at halftime, which was plus money. So we'll see how that works out for Nurk after he plays Zubac. Maybe after you play Zoo, it's like the toughest test ever. So then you've gone through your Navy SEALs training of rebounding and are good. Either way, I feel good about Nurk as well tonight in a game where I don't know how I feel about much else, but some player props in there for sure. And Nurk to do his thing without Dame, and maybe a few more missed shots from the Blazers as well, upping his potential rebound total there. So he also does pass out of the post a bit more without Dame as they look for him and then cut off of him. So that's another play that is there for them when Dame is out. When Dame is in, they're not really looking to use Nurk in that way nearly as much. So I'm going to close things out here, Nate, with an under in a game that neither of us really plan on spending much time watching, because it's the Knicks and the Pistons in Detroit. And it's a road game. I'm going RJ Barrett under here in this road game for the Knicks. 20.5 points for him. It's minus 120 on DK. I'm going to be honest with you. I might even sell a point and take an alternate line of under 19.5. I don't think he's scoring 20 in this game, and I can get that up to about plus 105, plus 110 if I do that. 17 points a game on the road this season as opposed to 20.5 at home. He shoots 36% from the field on the road. Very, very bad. 24% from 3. I didn't even bring that up just because, it's just so bad. He's only shooting 5.5 threes a game, but I mean, he started off the season, the first 5 games, shooting roughly 42% from 3, and we all thought it was going to be a great RJ year, and he has just not made a 3 since then, basically. There was a stretch where he missed 27 in a row earlier this season. His last 10 overall, 17 a game on 37% from the field, 24 from deep, so those splits just really bad over the last 10 as well. 6 career games in Detroit, 15 points a game, 5 boards, 30 minutes. He is getting closer to 32.5 minutes this season. But still, the split's awful in Detroit, 43% from the field, 33 from deep, just 3 3-point attempts a game anyway. And Detroit does defend this position specifically better than any other position. This is the position where they have the most adults on their team, if you will, in terms of Bogey and a few other guys that have been around for a bit longer than, the Jaden Ivies and Cade Cunninghams. So they're inside the top 15 and even inside the top 10 in a few really important positions when it comes to opposing small forwards, defending opposing small forwards in terms of points per game, assists, rebounds, all that stuff. They're limiting that position, like I said, better than any other. So I just don't feel good about RJ in this position.
Yeah, and the Knicks scoring drops a lot on the road. Their defense is also much better on the road. So, I mean, I talked about betting Knicks. If Ivy and Bogdanovich are going to miss another game, maybe you just want to bet the under and assume that the Pistons aren't going to have anything really going on offense and that the Knicks are more than happy to win a relatively low scoring game because that's what they've been able to do, claw those out against bad teams. On the road. So I think, under RJ also goes along with that, under 228, which is the total right now.
Yeah, and the total feels a little bit high, probably because the last time we saw the Knicks, they were going for like 270 against the Grizzlies at home. Complete opposite scenario from what we have today. So that is all the time though that we have for you guys today. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us. We are staying super hot on these player props this season. So until we see you next, happy betting.